Okay, so the Torah reading for Yom Kippur, of course, we are familiar with it from Parshas Achrimos. So let's start. Sefer Vayikra, chapter 16, verse 1. Vayidaber Adonai al Moshe Acharei Mos Shnei Bnei Aaron Karva Samofnei Adonai Vayamusu. So God spoke to Moshe after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they came close before God and they died. So right away we see that the Torah, all of this is not even necessary for the Torah reading, so to speak. It's not, the Torah reading is going to give us the ritual of what happens when Aaron comes into the Holy of Holies. It's not even necessary to talk about this, but yet they talk about that this whole ritual comes after the death of the two sons of Aaron. And so they came close before God and they died. And now this Torah reading is teaching us how Aaron, who felt distant from God, or how all us on Yom Kippur can come closer to God in the right way. They came close to God in the incorrect way, and it had disastrous consequences. If you, God forbid, you come close to God in the wrong way, it's very, very dangerous. Very dangerous to try to come close to God in the wrong way. Extremely dangerous. So this is what the Rashi says. Ma Talmud Omer. Why does the Torah say after the death of the sons of Aaron? So Rashi tells us a parable. Haya Rebbe Elazar ben Azariah Moshe lo mashal Rebbe Elazar ben Azariah compared it to a sick person. Shenichnas etzlo rofei, who a doctor wanted to treat. Amar lo al tochal tzonin. He said, don't eat cold food. V'al tishkav batachav. Don't lie in a damn place. Ba'achar v'amar lo. He said, another person came and said, don't eat cold food and don't lie in a damn place so that you will not die like the such and such person died. Zezarzo yoter min harishon. His second guy had a bigger impact than the first guy. The first guy said, don't eat cold food and don't sleep in a damn place. The second guy said, don't eat cold and sleep in a damn place and die like the guy before you who did that. So that's why it says, Achrei Moshe b'nei Aaron, v'yomer Hashem Moshe, daber Aaron achicha v'al yavo shelo yamuz k'derech shemei subanav. That's why it says, God said to Moshe, tell Aaron, your brother, not to come whenever he wants into the temple so he doesn't die like his two sons. That's going to have an impact. That's going to have an impact for sure. I was also thinking that there's another parallel that this is like the religion is, so to speak. This is what we hold on. This is beginning to disturb me that I can't see Dan. Oh, and I don't know. Here, why don't you please just give this to me? No, I'll just put it on the table behind us. Thanks. Anybody know what type of flowers these are called?
White ones.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll look it up on Google Images. So the point is that religion is a little bit like medicine. You can't just take medicine if you don't know what you're doing. It could be very, very dangerous, extremely dangerous for a person to take medicine without the precise instructions of a doctor. And religion, if you don't know what you're doing, you start experimenting with religious practices, it can be dangerous. It can lead you to a path that's unhealthy, very unhealthy. So how do we know our path is healthy? How do we know our path is healthy? How do we know? So the reason why we know our path is healthy is because it's been a tried and true path for 2,000 years. The rabbis have said, since the Talmud, the rabbis have said this, they've written it down. This is the path that you take to have a meaningful relationship with God, with halacha, with midrash. This is the path you take. The other paths, there's a chance they'll work, but there's a chance they'll be extremely dangerous. And so that's another message from this. Okay, so now it says in Pasuk Bet, Vayomer Hashem al Moshe, daber al Aaron achicha, v'al yavo b'chol it el hakodesh min beit laparochet al pnei hakaporet asher Aaron v'lo yamut ki ba'anan el hakaporet. So now he says, so God says to Moshe, speak to Aaron your brother and tell him not to come at any moment to the holies inside the sanctuary. He can't come at all times into the sanctuary within the curtain. What's in the curtain? So there's a sanctuary, and then there's a curtain in the sanctuary, and that leads to the Holy of Holies. In the Mishkan, it was a curtain. In the first temple, it was in the first temple, and certainly in the second temple, it was a wall. In the first temple, I think it was also a wall. But in the Mishkan, it was a curtain. So he says, you can come whenever you want. Al Panei Kaporos, to the ark, the top of the Kaporos. The Kaporos is the gold cover on top of the ark. That's on the ark. And you shall not die. Kiba and non Kaporos, because God is in the cloud on top of the Kaporos. So we're seeing from here a very powerful point. You can't go to God whenever you want. Like what? Maybe we should just do Yom Kippur every day. No, it's not going to work. It'll be counterproductive. In fact, if you would try to go into the Holy of Holies when it's not the appropriate time, a person will die. And if you're not ready to go into the Holy of Holies, you will die. Of course, I should just mention parenthetically, you're able to go into the Holy of Holies if it's not for the purpose of coming close to God. If the Talmud discusses, you're allowed to go into the Holy of Holies to clean it, to, you have to polish it. Do you have to polish gold? No, but you have to clean the dust off of the gold and treat it properly. So gold doesn't tarnish? Never? I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I barely have any gold. I don't even know. I actually have a gold ring, and I've never had to polish it. Yeah. We should use gold more often. We should have made a gold menorah upstairs instead of silver. Okay, so it says, she won't die. If he comes into the Holy of Holies when he's not allowed to, then he's going to die. Because in the cloud I will appear. Rashi says, Ki tamid ani nirasham imamud anani, because God says I'm always there with my pillar of cloud. And because the revelation of my Shechina is there, Yizaher, he should be careful, that he doesn't come regularly, because my divine presence is there. So that's the Rashi says that's the pshat, and then he gives the drasha of Rabbi Seven Darshu Al Yavo Ki Ba'anana Ketoras B'Yom Kippurim. The only way you could come, the only way Aaron was allowed to come, was with the cloud of Ketoret, the cloud of incense on Yom Kippur. So this is the idea that Aaron would come into the Holy of Holies twice on Yom Kippur. And how did he come? He came in, and when he was in the Holy of Holies, he made a cloud of smoke above his head. And then he would go back in later to get the pan of coals and to take it out. That's the only way he's allowed to. That's the only way he's allowed to go into the Holy of Holies, with the cloud of incense. And that was the most difficult ritual, to drop the incense onto the coals and to make it smoky. And if he didn't do it the right way, then he was going to die. And if some dropped, etc., this was a very difficult task. So now we come to the next verse. Bezos yavo Aaron el HaKodesh. With this, Aaron is able to come to the Holy of Holies. V'par ben bakar lechatas v'ayol with a bull, a young male of a cattle for a sin offering, and a ram for an olah. So what is Aaron supposed to do? He's supposed to come with a bull and a sin offering for a ram for an olah. The bull has a sin offering and a ram for an olah offering. So Rashi says here, Bezos gematria shelo arba meot ve'eser. What is it says in the verse? With this you shall come. What's the numerical value of the word bezot? That is 410. Why? Rashi says that's an allusion. Remez lebayis rishon. That's an allusion to the first temple. So the years of the first temple lasted for 410 years. And so therefore, this is what happened in the 410 years. How many years did the second temple last for? 420 years. 420 years. Then it states in the Rashi, you cannot always come, only on Yom Kippur, as it states at the end of the portion, so this is going to make up the main point of the Yom Kippur liturgy. This passage is going to make it up. And what is Aaron supposed to wear? Oh, this is relevant for us. This is relevant for us. I'll tell you why. Ketonet ba kodesh yoba. She's supposed to wear a tunic garment. Umichnas evad yual besaro. A linen pants. Linen michnas evad. Linen pants on his flesh. Ubaavne bad yakor. And a belt of linen. Ubimitznefes bad yitznof. And a turban of linen, big day kodeshem. These are holy garments. And he should wash his body in water, and he shall wear them. So we see here a couple of important points that are actually relevant to us, even before we get to the Rashi. First of all, we know that the Kohen Gadol usually every day wore the golden garments and the colorful garments that we saw at the beginning of Parashas Tetzaveh. But here he only wears white garments. And Rashi tells us because he doesn't want to remind us of the sin of the golden calf. But that's why we have a practice for this reason to wear white garments, because, and now our Kohen walks in, our Kohen Agadol walks in. Now we have a practice because we are like, on Yom Kippur, we're like the Kohen Gadol. And we actually, every day here in the yeshiva, we do something that reminds us of the Kohen Gadol. What is that we do every day, remind us of the Kohen Gadol? Well, we do the Birkat Kohanim, but that's what the Kohen does. That's only when Elon shows up, and we're lucky enough for Elon to show up. But when Elon doesn't show up, once in a while, usually he's here. But when he doesn't show up, every day we do something that reminds us of the Kohen Gadol. That's we wear a gartel, our belt. That's why the gartel is such a big belt. Why is the gartel such a big belt? Because it reminds us of the Kohen Gadol's belt, very long belt. Okay. And so these are the hello Cheryl. So these are the special garments. We're going to stop the recording now because I wanted to have in mincha, but I just want to say a couple of things before we